Vegas Edge.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to our Friday update here of the markets. We're actually changing it up a little bit, kind of rearranged the old studio here. Color's still a little off, but we're going to dig in and go into what the markets did today. Very, very exciting day. The markets actually started the day down. They actually swung all the way back into quite positive territory. The Dow had a 1,000-point swing from low to high. This time we finished at a high, so that's good news. Let's take a look there. The Dow actually closed higher by 317 points. Let me bring up the chart for you to kind of see where we're working with here. There's your Dow. And what we talked about the other day was that this low set on Tuesday would likely be the low that kind of holds for the rest of the week. And that was the case. I think that's going to kind of be that going forward. The markets will chop around in this range, some good days, some bad. But I think it's going to sort of be directionless for a while unless there's some really great news that comes out. The bottom line is the Dow finished up 300 plus points. Hey, that's a good sign. If we go over to the S&P, that was up 36, sort of right in line with the Dow. So nothing too exciting there. The Nasdaq was actually the exciting part today. The Nasdaq was up about 1.5% to close out the day. You had a lot of the Nasdaq names actually quite strong. Actually, the information technology space, that did pretty good. Let me see, where are we at here? Sorry. IT finished the day up 2.5%. That ETF, if you like to invest in that tech space. One interesting thing I want to point out before we get to the rest of this here. If you take a look at REITs have been suffering. With interest rates going up, REITs have been falling lower here. Those real estate investment trusts rely heavily on low interest rates. Well, right at the end of the day, I'm going to change this. Every blip that you see now on the screen represents 5 minutes of time. Look what happened right in the last, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes or so. Really, really strong to wrap up the day. So maybe a comeback there on REITs. If you're invested in the real estate investment trust space, it looks like you're getting a little bit of a break going into the weekend. Speaking of the markets, we've got a volatile market on our hands here. I actually went out with a friend last night who happens to work for, I could say it, doesn't matter, Morgan Stanley. And he was complaining the whole time, complaining about how his clients were calling him, calling and panicking. They were being a pain. And I just kind of, was like, oh, that sucks, man. Sorry to hear that. But it made me realize that my clients, you guys are awesome. You guys understand where we're at. You see the shakiness, but you know that's part of the game and that we're invested for the long term. If we were short-term trading, then yeah, we'd all be panicking here. But this sort of drop in the short term really looks to be a worthwhile discount, at least for now. So I love that. I love that I'm breeding a business here that allows people a place to get an honest answer, honest support of their investments. So very, very excited about that. Hey, for our clients of Jazz Wealth, real quick, I just want to point out, we got a couple things coming up for you. Our Wine and Wealth series, we're going to do just like an online class. Have a glass of wine with me in the evening when I'm going to teach you something you probably didn't already know about your personal finances, or something that I can do to help you better your personal finances. So clients, don't worry, you won't miss out. I'll be sure to get an email, many emails out to a bunch of you so you know when to expect that. Let's go back into the markets here. We are chilling here in the markets today to wrap up the week. Here's the thing. What has been hurting your retirement investments this week? What is it? Where is it? And it's interest rate products. It is like real estate investment trust. We covered that. But it's also going to be energy. Let me bring up the price of oil. You could see the price of oil over the week really slid down to a technical support area. If you happen to use charts for trading, then you know 58 was the support area today, and investors started to buy off of that area. My opinion is, in the short term here, we're going to see that rebound, that sort of supporting price for crude oil, and that should help any of your energy related holdings. Those were some of the worst performers of not only the day but of the week. If we go through, here we go, we got oil service stocks. These are all companies that participate in the space but don't necessarily drill for the oil. You've got the energy space. This includes all energy products. And let me see here, if you happen to be invested in commodities in general, here's an ETF that we use for the commodity space. Rough week for commodities. Now, this isn't just oil that you're seeing on the charts. This is actually going to include gold and silver and other commodities. They suffered a little bit. This is the price of gold here. That suffered a little bit of a downturn as well. So not horrible, you know, a typical pullback that we were expecting and hoping to see in these gold and oil spaces. So just know if you're a client of Jazz Wealth, we got you covered. No worry there. Individual names. You want to take a look at a few individual names before we go. Nvidia, interestingly enough, this stock has pretty much held near the highs even during this whole market sort of meltdown over the week. Nvidia came out with earnings, did well. Also, investors, you guys are looking for exposure to the crypto mining space. I think that's what we're all calling it these days. These guys are heavily participating in that space. So with good earnings and a lot of things going on here in the future, looks good for Nvidia. Expedia was your worst performer in the S&P today. They reported earnings, not really bad, just they had a miss because their advertising expenses are so great. These guys generate money by advertising on TV, and you see the commercials, right? Well, they're spending a lot more money for that, so the stock was down 15%. What a horrible day for that stock. Brand new lows. You could see it was trading sideways for a while. Now brand new lows all the way down to $100. I'll leave you with Amazon. Amazon was trading in a wild range today. You're going to see it in the headlines today. Amazon, first of all, they're already doing this, right? So you're going to see that Amazon's knocking out UPS and FedEx. Well, the reality is Amazon's already been doing this. What they're doing is they are going directly to the business, picking up the package and taking it to the customer, so they don't need FedEx or UPS. Here's the thing. They do still need them. They are still way smaller than those two companies, but they're already working on it. So investors were trying to kind of figure that out today. Why did the stock go down initially? Well, if Amazon wants to be a FedEx or a UPS, they need to spend many more tens of billions of dollars, and investors weren't sure they wanted to go along for that ride. So just know that when you're going to see on the headlines is, oh, Amazon thinks they're going to do this. No, Amazon's already doing it. They have been doing it. They've been experimenting with it. If you're in a large city, you may have already seen them doing this. I think what they're going to do here is not necessarily buy more planes, trucks, trailers, and distribution centers. I think they're going to start using humans, sort of like Uber does. Because right now, when I order something on Amazon, some teenage kid drops it off at my door. So I think they're already starting to mess with that, where they won't necessarily put it in a truck and then go put it on a plane and send it somewhere. They're going to try to move it around the town using people. I don't know. That's my guess. That's where I'm at on that one. Hey, well, if you're thinking about Jazz Wealth, you have some retirement investments, you want some help, you just look at all this and you go, Dustin, I have no clue what you're talking about. I need help. First of all, check these two videos out above. I hope that we can help you with that. Otherwise, go to jazzwealth.com. Sign up, transfer your accounts over there, leave a comment down below asking our clients that watch this video how they like Jazz Wealth. Let's see what types of response we get. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we will talk to you soon.